everybody. It is Friday, very exciting, about to be the weekend. I hope you're all feeling good and have had a good week so far. We have reached our 5th day of movement and mindfulness, so that's exciting too. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, is we're going to start in standing and then end up on the mat. So to give your weekend a little bit of an energetic boost, we're going to start standing up and get moving straight away, rather than starting with our breath work straight away. We're going to start with some movement and then move into breath work and finish with our meditation and 5 minutes of silence. So come on up to standing, and you'll want to have your mat nearby, so somewhere where you can come down onto it after we finish this little segment. And just want you to take a moment and get your feet so that they're right underneath you, maybe shifting your weight from side to side just a little bit, just to kind of get your feet padding a little bit, just to sort of wake them up and get them moving. So just shifting your weight. Maybe you want to bend one knee and kind of roll your ankles around. That might feel quite nice for you. And then once you kind of let them wake up and sort of have a bit of movement, you're just going to settle in, give your knees a little bend, and then stand up nice and tall. So just closing the eyes for a moment to check in with yourself this morning. Notice where you're starting from today, kind of noticing your thoughts. Maybe you've had a busy week, so we just want to let those thoughts be settled to one side for the moment so that you can focus in and really start to be aware of how you're feeling in your body today. So just starting to take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and out through the open mouth. 2 more big breaths. Last time. Then we're going to start to, so you can open your eyes now, we're going to start to shake out the right arm. So make sure you've got some room around you so that you're not hitting anything, and really let that arm shake out. We've talked about the diaphragm a little bit and its connections onto the rib cage. Now we're going to start to think about, with this shaking, we're shaking that diaphragm out. So if you were to be talking right now, you'd be hearing yourself making a little bit of noise. Shake that arm out to the side, shake it up towards the ceiling. I know it looks kind of crazy. Hopefully no one's watching you. I've got neighbors that can see right into my window, and I always wonder what they're thinking when I do this sort of movement. But it feels really good to just kind of let that arm do whatever it wants by shaking it all over the place like a wet piece of spaghetti. Okay, and then just come back to the center and notice what that side feels like compared to the other one. So for me, that really starts to invigorate the whole of the arm and even into that side of the body. And if you were to lift your arm up and over your head in comparison with the other arm, just notice what the movement through that arm feels like, one side to the other. I'm just doing that one more time. And then we're going to shake out through the left arm. So you can even let your body kind of go with you through this little shaking. Really feel the vibrations, feel that movement all through the arm. Bring it across, bring it above, bring it down. Let's really get it shaking, getting the diaphragm and all of the ribs and lungs on that side waking up for this lovely Friday. Shake it out a little bit more. Good. And then just come to standing, and again, notice both sides now. Hopefully they feel quite similar, quite awake and energized. Now that we've done that little bit of waking up, we're going to lift the shoulders up to the ears, exhale, and then let them just gently glide back down. And again, nice big deep breath in as you're letting the shoulders slide up towards the ears and exhaling them down. We're going to get all 10 toes to come with us this time. So lift up through the toes, lift up through the shoulders, take a big deep breath in, exhale, lower the toes, lower the shoulders. 2 more times. Ears and toes, get that little toe up higher than the big toe, and then let them release back down. Last time like that. Then we're going to take the hands, slide them down onto the knees, and sit right back as if you had a chair behind you and you were going to sit into that chair. Here I want you to make the spine as long as possible so there's no bend through your back. Take a big deep breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to tuck your tail towards your knees, up towards the chest so that you can slowly, slowly uncurl all the way up to standing. You're going to take your ears and all 10 toes with you again. Deep breath in, exhaling, drop the shoulders, drop the toes, bend the knees, sit right back onto your imaginary chair. Really let your bum feel like it's going to sit back, and then make the spine really nice and wide. Nice and long. I like to turn my hands so that my fingertips are looking towards one another. As I take a deep breath in and exhale, I leave my hands behind for as long as possible as I'm uncurling all the way back up to standing. We're going to do that twice more, inhaling up the shoulders and the toes, and then exhaling, sliding them down. Slide the hands down onto the knees, maybe turning the fingertips in towards one another so that you can take a breath in right to that space into the armpits and the elbows. And then exhaling, slowly curling up, tucking that tail, and then uncurling the spine. Head's the very last thing. We're going to do that one more time because it feels so nice. Toes are all the way up, so are the shoulders, and then exhale. Lower them down. Slide the hands down. Sit back into your imaginary chair. Turn the fingertips in if that feels good for you. And then deep breath in before exhaling. And slowly rolling up all the way to standing. As we're here now, we're going to take a deep breath in. Let the arms lift all the way up to the ceiling, and then exhale. Slowly just lowering them down. So as you're doing this, you're inhaling up and you're exhaling down. I want you to think back to that movement of the diaphragm. So that muscle that helps you to breathe. So you're going to keep lifting and lowering. The muscle that is connected to your rib cage all the way around and helps you to breathe. It floats down as you're inhaling, and it floats back up as you're exhaling. So I want you to think, as your arms are lifting up, that diaphragm is floating down to let all the oxygen into your lungs. And then as you exhale, it's floating back up, and it's pushing all of the oxygen out. So you're breathing in, letting the diaphragm descend. And as you exhale, it floats back up, just like a parachute, filling with air. 2 more times. And then exhaling. Last time. Beautiful. Okay. Come to the edge of your mat or wherever you're going to be lying down. You're going to stand at the end, take a big deep breath in, and then exhale to start to just tuck your chin in towards your chest, slowly rolling down until you can't go any farther. At that point, you're going to bend your knees so that your hands come onto the floor and you can walk them right out in front of you. Once you're there, just spread your hands out. Make sure you've got some space around you. We're just going to start by leaning back and leaning forward a couple of times just to get those wrist joints and the shoulders warmed up a little bit. Might want to go around in a circle over your knees and over your wrists. Maybe going back the other direction. Just kind of doing whatever movement you need to feel like you're waking things up here. And then you're going to come to the center. Get a nice long spine here and start to shift your weight back so that you could, if you needed to, almost completely disconnect your hands away from the floor. From here, you're going to take one hand, place it back behind the back of the head. Take a deep breath in as you open that elbow up towards the ceiling. Exhale and bring it in towards the crease of the other elbow. So you're breathing in and then exhaling. Breathing in to expand into this rib cage and then exhaling. Bring that elbow to meet the crease of the other. This time we're going to let that arm get nice and long. Bring your gaze up to that hand, and then as you exhale, you're going to let that hand come past and underneath the other wrist. Bend through that elbow and bring your ear down to meet the ground. Press yourself back up, inhaling to reach the arm up towards the ceiling. And then exhale. We're going to stay down onto the floor for a few breaths this time. So let that hand thread underneath the other one. Bend the elbow. Bring your ear down to meet your hand on the floor. And we're going to stay here for a couple of moments. Couple of deep breaths. And then press yourself back up through that hand one more time. We're going to lift up and then exhale. Just place that hand back down onto the floor. Lean back for a moment and give yourself a good shake out through the shoulders and the wrists. I'm going to turn around to do the other side. You can stay where you are, placing your hands back in that same position. So that you're not kind of putting too much weight onto your wrists and your hands as you're doing this first part of the movement. So taking the other hand, pressing your head into that hand behind the back of it, and then lifting up through the elbow, nice big deep breath in, exhaling to bring that elbow down to the crease of the other one. Inhaling, and then exhaling to bring it in and bring it down. Again, inhaling to open up, and then exhaling to bring it in. This time we're going to let that arm get nice and long up towards the ceiling. Take a look at it, and then exhale to swoop it through. You're going to take your ear down to meet the floor by your hand to get a nice stretch to this side. And then press yourself back up, inhaling, nice big deep breath, exhaling to come back through, thread that needle, rest down here for a few breaths. And then press yourself back up one more time, opening that arm up towards the ceiling, and then bring it back down to the floor. All right, from here, we're going to go ahead and come down to lie on your side. Your arm is going to be underneath your head. Hopefully you can see me pretty well from there. So just lining up the back of your body, your head, your ribs, your back of your pelvis and your feet. I like to use my mat as kind of a little gauge as to where I am located, because sometimes in our heads we think we're a bit straighter than we actually are. So just make sure that you're not kind of popping your rib cage out in front of you, that you're not letting your ribs, your pelvis kind of lean forward or lean back. Everything's in that nice straight line. Hand is going to be onto that top hip, and we're going to just think about that bottom leg sinking down once again so that you can let your top leg lift up, and we're going to start to straighten that leg right out underneath you. So as you straighten that leg, feel how you can kind of get that similar feeling of the hips being drawn away, but your foot's really taking that with you so that you can leave this bit of space underneath your underneath side and both sides will be really long. So from here, we're going to take that foot and point it up towards the ceiling. We're going to take the foot and point it down towards the floor. So all we're doing here is a little rotation through the whole of the leg, up and then down. And it should be out right underneath you so that you're just feeling the turning happening kind of through your thigh, down through your lower leg, and through the foot. So notice my pelvis isn't turning forward and back. It's just the leg. Just one more time up, one more time down, and then bend that leg, bring it back in for a little rest. All right, so we turn the whole leg. Now we're going to ask for the feet to stay together. So just this top part of the leg can turn in. It's turning out to come up, and it's turning in to come back down. So we're inhaling that leg to come up, and we're exhaling it to bring it back down. Do that a couple more times. Nice big deep breath. Make sure you're still keeping that little lift through your underneath side to keep both sides of the pelvis stacked one on top of the other. We're going to keep that little lift this time, and you're going to straighten out the top leg as if you were going to kick a ball, and then fold that leg back in and lower the leg back down. 3 more times, lifting up through the top knee, and then straightening the leg out, bending it back in, and lowering it down. Twice more. Nice big deep breath in, and then bring it back, and exhaling last time. Beautiful. And then rest it down. Give yourself a little pat on that side, and we'll switch on over to the other side. So lying down here, lining yourself up in one long lovely line, placing your hand onto your top hip, and then straightening out that leg so that you can really feel your top hip kind of being pulled down towards the wall beneath you. Just going to start to turn the leg up towards the ceiling and then down towards the floor. And just kind of feeling the whole leg moving in its socket all the way down through to the foot. One more time down, one more time up. Bend the leg, bring it back on top of the other one. I'm going to start to rotate just through that top thigh to lift the top knee and then lower it back down. So nice big deep breath in as you lift, exhaling to lower. Nice big deep breaths to move that leg. We're going to keep it lifted, extend the top leg out, bend it back in to place the foot back top, the other one, and then lower the top leg. We'll do that a few times on this side. Maybe noticing for yourself whether that leg feels quite different to the other side. Last 2 here. Nice big deep breaths. Last 1. And then resting that down, taking a little pat on your side, and then rolling over onto your back. So now that you're here, just taking a moment to kind of settle yourself in. Might be quite nice to let your legs fully lengthen out beneath you and get nice and long and kind of just feel the support of the mat underneath you. So what we're going to do here, we're going to start to clench up through the feet, clench up through the calves, clench up through the the thighs and the buttocks, and then release. So you're kind of squeezing every muscle that you have in your legs, and then you're releasing, just letting it go. Make sure that you're not feeling any pain as you're doing this, tensing up through every muscle of your leg, and then releasing. And then we're going to move up a little bit farther, so feet, lower leg, upper leg, and then through the abdomen, the back, up into the shoulders. So now you're clenching all the muscles that you have through the central part of your body and then releasing. Let's add in the arms, so legs, torso, and then the arms. Clench up every muscle and then release. And then we'll move that up to the head. So legs, torso, arms, and then every muscle through your head. You're clenching up. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And then release. Let every muscle in your body just relax and come to a really lovely, released, relaxed position onto your mat. If you need any cushions underneath your head or around you anywhere, we're going to do our meditation lying down onto our back today so that you can really find a connection into your breath and come into this deep relaxation. So when you're ready, just beginning to close the eyes and taking some few deep breaths. We'll start with our body scan from the very crown of the head. We're just asking every muscle of the body to start to relax and switch off, especially after that bit of turning every muscle on. Now we can really feel what the opposite is like for relaxation. So through the head, front of the face, past the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, through the sides of the head, past the ears, past the back of the head, past the front of the throat and the back of the throat. The shoulders just relaxing, maybe rolling back towards the floor to let go of any residual tension. The upper arms can just relax, the elbows, the forearms and hands. The chest, the abdomen and the belly, and then the upper back, the mid back, and the lower back. Just noticing any muscles that might be trying to hang on, letting them go, and letting them relax. And then scanning on down, working your way through the pelvis, the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, and the feet. Just letting everything let go and relax. And starting to bring that awareness back onto the breath now. So if it's helpful to you, you can begin to count your breaths and really notice the top of the breath. So once you reach the top, you're going to take that as your number one and then exhale. Take another breath in at the top of that breath. That'll be 2, and you'll exhale. You'll go all the way up to 10, and then you'll start over at the number 1 again. So we're going to count the breaths through 5 minutes of silence. And the point of this exercise is to gather your thoughts so that you can take a holiday from thinking and really just focus on your breath. This might be your only chance to kind of spend 5 minutes in calm and silence. So really just take advantage of that and this total relaxation and really enjoy and savor that. So we're going to start that 5 minutes of silence now, just remembering to keep your mind on your breath, counting as you go. Just beginning to bring your awareness back into the room, maybe by wiggling the fingers and the toes, circling through the wrists and through the ankles. Feeling any textures around you with your fingertips. And then just rolling over onto your side. And slowly pressing yourself up to a seated position. And again, just taking that calm with you throughout the rest of your day. I'll be here again tomorrow, but if I don't see you again this weekend, carry that also into your weekend and see if you can just keep that calm, tranquil, relaxed mind, which will just help you to feel a little bit more just good all over, inside and out. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye.